benefits of synchronicity and teamwork. What is ritualistic synchronicity? Ritualistic synchronicity is a practice that has been occurring across history for thousands of years. According to the stimulus material, the cultural evolutionary trade-off of ritualistic synchronicity is a practice which has been found universally in human society. This includes practices like dancing, religious events, and other practices involving synchronicity. The widespread use of ritualistic synchronicity points to the fact that it most likely holds some benefit to society. According to Scott S. Wilterman from the University of South Carolina, synchrony rituals may have caused some groups and cultures to have succeeded where others have failed. Synchrony can be found throughout modern society as well. As evidence in the stimulus material ultra-fast fashion, many individuals across the world wear the same style of clothes and brands to fit in with the current trend. Fast fashion is on the rise with hundreds of different clothes products being released and purchased every week to meet the demand. My connections were ritualistic synchronicity and ultra-fast fashion. I did ritualistic synchronicity because it touched on how ritualistic synchronicity was prevalent throughout history in different human societies, how it had certain benefits for human society, but also certain negatives and downgrades for human society and individuals. I also did ultra-fast fashion, which focused on how there was a rising number of trends going on where young teenage girls were focused on by fast fashion companies because they were more vulnerable to the desire to fit in and wanted to wear the same clothes as the people that they were around. Synchronicity and teamwork are beneficial for an individual and group. According to the University of Birmingham, synchronicity can help strengthen cooperation and leadership skills in groups. Synchronicity can also help induce a state called team flow. This term was coined by Mohammed Shayatla, a professor with a PhD in neuroscience. Team flow in a group has improved cohesion, collaboration, and interactions. As such, synchronicity and proper teamwork are incredibly important for groups to have. Synchronous individuals in a group feel more united and are more effective at working together to complete a common goal. Synchrony is also present in militaries around the world. Militaries have been shown to march in synchronous formations because it makes a group seem more powerful and threatening than they really are. According to Daniel Fessler, a professor of biological anthropology, marching in synchronicity caused participants to view enemies as weaker than they really were and were more confident in their abilities to face a challenge. People viewing soldiers or groups who are marching in sync also view the soldiers as more threatening and powerful than they actually would be. This phenomenon is most likely why militaries throughout history had marched in synchronization. Synchronicity and prosociality. Prosociality is a form of behavior which benefits others in society instead of the individual, even at the expense of the individual. According to Raphael Wittek, a sociologist, the individual may even help others in its group, even at the cost of that individual's own livelihood or wealth. Furthermore, according to the stimulus material trade-off of ritualistic synchronicity, subjects who went through a synchrony manipulation were more likely to help a co-participant in the synchronous activity, who became a victim of a moral transgression even when helping was costly. Furthermore, individuals who go through a synchronous exercise have been shown to feel more similar to each other. As such, they report feelings of being more willing to cooperate with other members of that activity, and synchronous activities can be the first step to improving friendships among participants and improving their future interactions with each other. An interesting thing is that friends have been proven to be much more effective at working together in groups and cooperate with each other. According to Nadira Faber from the University of Oxford, friends perform far better than acquaintances at doing both manual and cognitive tasks. Furthermore, studies have shown that friends experience a higher motivation to work when in a group together and trying to achieve a collective goal, according to Naomi Elmers from Landon University. In correlation with this, synchronicity has been proven to increase bonds with participants, with group members feeling more trust and connectedness to each other. It could be a first step towards increasing the effectiveness of teamwork and the amount of cooperation, as synchronicity can help improve their relationships and feelings of trust. Downside of synchronicity. It should be remembered that there are some downsides of synchronicity, as for the stimulus material, because synchronicity can cause less creativity and negative peer pressure. According to the stimulus material, ritualistic synchronicity. There are times where peer pressure and synchronicity can be negative or even increase aggression against outside groups or individuals. According to Social Spirit Ultra Fast Fashion, companies often target vulnerable members of the population like teenage girls who want to follow the current trend. Individuals can be excluded for being different or made fun of for not conforming to the group. Encouraging synchronicity in workplaces and communities. Synchronicity can be encouraged and taught in schools, workplaces, and communities as a whole in a healthy way. Every human has the innate ability to cooperate and be synchronous with others. This has been evidenced throughout history and in the fashion industry. The only thing that schools and communities need to do is promote a healthy form of cooperation and collectivism. In conclusion, synchronicity and cooperation are essential parts of society. Excuse me. These practices should be taught and regulated in a healthy manner for both the individuals and the community that they are in. Through synchronicity, greater endeavors can be achieved for the good of the entire community and can improve our way of life as a whole.
Okay, so Tyler, how did your research question evolve as you went through the research process?
I originally was focusing more on fast fashion and how synchronicity and fast fashion were damaging to the environment, but I thought that it was a bit too kind of obvious about how fast fashion was damaging to the environment and how lots of plastic clothes made from fast fashion were destroying the environment, putting plastics into the oceans, and there were sweatshops for kids. So I eventually decided to move it over to the benefits of synchronicity and try and figure out how synchronicity could have positive effects on individuals and communities.
Okay, good. So how is your conclusion in conversation with the research sources that you used?
The research sources that I used were mainly focusing on how synchronicity improved the cohesion, collaboration, and moods really of the participants involved in it. They felt more like bonded with each other. And my conclusion was that really synchronicity can be healthy, but it can also be dangerous and negative because there are the downsides, which have also been evidenced in other presentations, like less creativity and people being excluded. But there are also positives that can be exploited in a healthy manner if they're addressed correctly and encouraged in the right way.
Good. Thank you.